Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
Marcus, you made your way through the destroyed city, over those long and extensive dunes. It seems that at the very heart of it, almost a gigantic mound of sand has been created where the tower once stood, but still buried beneath it is sections of the palace, and based on what Faria and others have told you, given time, this section of the country will slowly be buried under that mound of sand. It'll distribute itself out, and the old capital of Tannhauser will be lost for good. You took it upon yourself to head over to the palace and go about collecting some of your favorite books. After all, the last time you were here, you were able to pick out different writers from your childhood that personally inspired you. These are, to some extent, the only copies of these tomes, and, well, this palace will someday become some dungeon for adventurers to explore. You know that much. These ancient bookshelves collapsing into that same old squalor you've been through 100,000 times at this point. For now, you figure you might as well get a head start on the treasure and pick out what would be most valuable to you right here, right now. You also, knowing that the future fate that this palace holds, you brought a sack full of your own books and are strategically seeding them through the area. These are great adventure rewards. There's
some from the series, of course. I've had higher tempers. There's others written under pseudonyms called things such as Marcus Falafi. Don't trust his lies.
You slide them tactically around and fully seed this future dungeon with texts of your own creation. And from behind you, you actually hear someone approach. Long and protracted taps as he moves his way down through the marble halls.
Hey, I'm busy. Dad? What?
He, looks over at you. Sort of.
You know it's probably, deeply unsafe here, right?
He courteously nods. That didn't stop you from coming in here.
Well, no, but I live dangerously. You should know that by now.
I understand. Can I ask what exactly you're doing in the remnants of the palace?
Well, I figure that sooner or later, could be 20 years from now, could be 100, could be 1,000, but, you're gonna have some sort of your run-of-the-mill necromancer, or lich, or evil cackling alchemist move in here, turn it into a lair, mess with any surrounding settlements, have adventurers come through, and I'm just trying to kind of, spread my name around a little bit.
You, on one side of the room, go around and you, very tidily but strategically, jangle the shelves, you move books around, you create piles. God, dungeons love a good pile. And then you slide one of your books beneath. You notice on the far side of the room, your father is moving around, one edge to the other, arranging all of the books carefully and making sure that they're spotless. A futile effort, all things considered.
Marcus takes one out, rips it in half, and puts it back in the shelf. He takes a sheet of paper out of his pack that has a bloody handprint on it and slips it into another book.
Your father turns around, sees you doing that, and sort of sighs, and he's like, I feel like...
Do you think it's creepier to have, just a few books in a bookshelf covered with ectoplasm, or the entire shelf covered with ectoplasm?
Marcus, I had hoped a long, long time ago that you would tend these very same halls. That this would be your legacy. That you would entrust yourself to the upkeep of this palace.
Look, Dad, we've been over this. I know you hoped that, and it's a nice thought, but that's not well, for one, I don't think tending's gonna do much to this place anymore. I like kick a little dune of sand that's on the floor. No offense.
He feels like he's about to say something. One of those lectures. One of the lectures that always rises up. But instead, he exhales. You're going to be leaving soon, so I figure I won't retread old ground. Instead, I want to ask the question that I never did. Why?
Why? Why what?
Why did you choose your way of life over this one?
Wow, that's a... I'm gonna sit back down on the book pile. That's a big question.
You see him visibly taking damage from you, literally turning the book pile into a book throne.
Oh, no, please, have a seat yourself. I gesture at the other book pile.
He tidies them up and makes himself a tiny book stool.
Like, I wish I had some kind of, I don't know, like, well thought out and noble answer for you about how I wanted to, like, pursue my own destiny, and, I mean, I guess I kinda did, some, but mostly, I just thought it would be more fun. Which is a really, really petty reason to, basically run away from home and everything that you had set up for me, but I think I was right. I've had the time of my life. And also almost gotten killed a bunch of times, but so far nothing's stuck, so...
Oh, fuck. You see his expression sort of fall for a second. He looks down at the ground. He hears you say, I did it for fun, and I've had the time of my life, and his shoulders, like, duck forwards for a second. You don't know if expression of anger, a sob, or anything like that, and you hear a light chuckle from him. I have to admit, I've rehearsed this conversation 100,000 times in my head. I was ready to come into this room, and for you to rightfully so tell me that your way of life, the one that you chose for yourself, is what made the difference at the end of the day, and it is what saved this kingdom. Because that is objectively the truth.
Oh, I guess it is.
But you never even considered that, did you?
I mean, like, it's frankly pure coincidence that we ended up here when all of this was happening, and if we hadn't done this, I'm sure somebody else would have, or would have done something else. I'm sure that you would have done any number of things that would have... What? It's true. I don't think there's anything better about how I live my life than how you live yours. I've always respected, I don't know, the dignity and the seriousness with which you treat your office, and I love that for you, Dad, but that's not my thing. I hope that's kind of apparent now.
He has a look on his face. It's almost a distant smile. Hard to read exactly what he's thinking. I spent so long trying to communicate to you the advantages, materially, otherwise, duty, respect, how this could be a good life. I should have known more than anything. I should have known from the very start. You were... He punches his leg. You were chasing what made you happy. And I think I'd be a mighty miserable parent if I wasn't at least capable of seeing that. He bows his head. Thank you. Your nonsense has indeed saved this place that I treasure so much.
You're welcome, but I mean, I was only one part of a much larger effort. And hey, Dad, for what it's worth, like, I never thought that you were trying to keep me from, I don't know, enjoying my life. I think you just wanted me to take pleasure in things other than I naturally do, which I also kind of get. But
His,
I'm glad things have worked out the way they have.
his expression, stoic, always. I appreciate the understanding. There is one thing you seem to have misread about my previous statement. You said you were one of many that protected what is
Well, yeah.
most precious to me. No. He points over at you. I see you're happy now. Your nonsense saved yourself. That's good enough for me. He stands up and moves across the room with a slight smile, sort of like grins over to you, walks over to the wall. If you're talking about the subject of ectoplasm, I think I'd cover the entire bookshelf. Your initial impulse was correct. That would spook me the most.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know, Dad. Thank you. Marcus gives his dad a nice big hug.
Oh, he hugs you back for one of the very first times. He always hugged you, but it felt like a very official thing. It felt like this is a hug because family perform hug. But right now, amidst all of the fallen wreckage of the life that he wanted to build for you, he genuinely hugs you. It's awkward. He lightly shifts. He grips you a little too hard, and yeah, it hurts a lot. But he pulls back a second later. He's like, I'm searching for a word.
Is it "I love you, son"? Sorry, that's several words. But is it?
Not if you say, I love you, son.
He like lightly sighs and he smiles. He's like, I suppose. Yes. I'm looking for a word. It's not. Duty is one thing. It's success and aspiration to a singular goal. It is prescribing oneself to some grander worldview and then executing it to the best of your abilities. What is a word to
Ambition?
He shakes his head.
Huh?
I'm looking for a word to describe what I'm feeling about you and your performance.
Wait, are you proud of me?
He looks at you with a
Going back to the book pile.
He looks at you with a complete blank expression, blinks a few times, is like, I believe so.
Holy shit.
He starts to move his way towards the door. Yes, by the way, I love you, son. And then he courteously and rapidly walks away.
I love you too, Dad. Oh yeah, if a guy named Ven tries to talk to you, tell him to go fuck himself.
Oh, done and done.
Don't trust him. Marcus gets to sliming a bookshelf.
Marcus, you slime a bookshelf as the foot falls.
Oh, wait, no, that is historical erotica. That's coming with me.